What you find with some students is their Chinese friend calls them and says very politely, 我今天晚上可以去你家吗? And because it's not convenient, the foreigner says, 不可以. And that's very strong. Instead of saying 不可以, the student should say something like, 对不起，不太方便. So 可以 in the negative is very strong, prohibition. But it also has another meaning, suggesting an alternative approach or solution to a problem. Is it noisy here? 没有关系，我们可以到那边去. Okay? Too noisy here. It's okay. We can go over there. Or 你今天不方便来我家吗？没有关系，明天也可以来. You can come tomorrow. And so 可以 has these two different meanings. One of permission, the other of suggesting an alternative. Now, while we're thinking about this, let's just look at the future in Chinese. 会 is anticipation of future events. 他会卖. I'm pretty certain about it. 他会卖. He will sell it. But yao, want to, expressing the other person's intention. 他要卖. He wants to sell it. So 他会卖 is normally my anticipation. 他会来, 你放心, 他会来, I'm certain he's going to come. My anticipation. That 他要来 is expressing the other person's intention. He wants to come because there's something he wants to talk about. So going back to 可以能跟会, how can we practice 可以能跟会? Well, often listing sentences where they have to fill in the blank. For instance, 他不 something 说汉语. 他不会说汉语. 他今天不 something 来. That's more difficult. It could be 他今天不能来. It's not convenient. Or 他今天不会来. That's my anticipation. Or 他今天不可以来. He's not allowed to come today. So you need to get the student, when they choose which one to use, 可以能跟会, they have to say why they've chosen that. What meaning are they implying? Or 我 something 借你的书吗? 我可以借你的书吗? May I borrow your book? So it's 可以能跟会, and then the future in Chinese, 会 meaning my anticipation, and yao, the other person's intention. Okay, let's move on to prepositions. 他要跟他买. Chinese prepositions function like English prepositions, indicating where, with whom, to whom, etc. But the key thing is that whereas in English the preposition follows the verb, I go with you, in Chinese the preposition comes before the verb, 我跟你去. Now, there's 6 major prepositions, well, there are 3 others, but we'll look at those a bit later. But the 6 major prepositions that I want us to first think about one by one. That's 跟, 给, 替, 对, 帮, and 用. So let's look at these one by one now. Firstly, 跟. 跟 has 3 different meanings. Its first meaning, together with. 我跟你一块儿去. I go together with you. But 跟 can also mean from, the source from which something comes. 我跟他借100块钱. I borrowed $100 from him. The source from which something happens. The third one is to, often the idea more of with, but to. 我跟你说德语可以吗? Can I talk with you or talk to you in German? That's 跟, together with, source from, to. The second preposition, 给, has two different meanings. One is for someone's benefit. Okay? 我下午给你买那本书. I'll buy that book for you this afternoon, for someone's benefit. But 给 can also mean to. 我立刻给他打电话. I will telephone to him, I'll call him immediately. So 给, two different meanings. One, for the benefit of someone. Secondly, to. The third one, 替. Where 给 is for the benefit of someone, 替 means in someone's stead. For instance, you too tired? 没有关系，我替你教书. I'll teach for you. I'll teach in your stead. The fourth one, 对, is the idea of to. 我对他说我爱你. I said to him, I love you. But also, 对 can also mean to, but with other meanings, like 王阿姨对我很好. Auntie Wang is very good to me. So normally 对 means to, 我对他说 blah blah blah, but also it can mean like 王阿姨对我很好, she's very good to me. The other two prepositions, 帮 and 用, strictly speaking, they're not prepositions, but they act like prepositions. 帮, meaning for or help, 我帮你买, I'll buy it for you, or I'll help you to buy it, 我帮你买. And 用, meaning with. For instance, 英国人用筷子吃饭吗? Do British people eat using or eat with chopsticks? Meaning by what means or with what instrument? 英国人用筷子吃饭吗? Do British people eat with chopsticks? Those are the 6 major prepositions. The other prepositions are prepositions of place, location, 在, 他在北京读大学. That's 在 location. Then direction and motion, 从 and 到. 我从我家到学校去. Direction, motion. And the third preposition is of conveyance, 坐 and 骑, 他骑自行车到火车站去. So those location, direction and motion, conveyance. And we'll look at those in more detail a bit later on. And so to practice prepositions, we first need to, before we look at the pictures, we first need to get the student putting the preposition in the appropriate place. And so you can say 他去香港玩, and then the hint 跟父母, and the student has to say 他跟父母去香港玩, or 他教日语, and then the hint 替我朋友. Sorry, 我教日语, and then 替我朋友, 我替我朋友教日语, or 我学汉语, and then hint 跟杨老师, 我跟杨老师学汉语. So getting the student firstly through substitution drills, putting the preposition in the correct place. Then we can go on to pictures so that the student has to think which of those 6 prepositions is the appropriate one with the picture. 他跟他朋友去到学校去. 他要好像是对, 他要我对他要对我说很多话. And then 太累了, 太累了, 我替你教书吧. And so getting the student thinking which is the appropriate preposition to describe the picture. Okay, let's move on. The verb, as we've said, is not much to have to say about the verb, except that happily there's no irregular verbs in Chinese, not like English, I am, you are, he is. So now let's move on to numbers, measures, specifiers, 那三本书. As regards numbers, we'll just simply talk about 二跟两. 两 is used when counting items, counting things. 两支笔, 两本书. When used counting items or things, we use 两, and so we can deduce that a measure word must follow 两. But when it comes to counting numbers, we use 二. 二十二, 十二. But note that there's an exception. We don't say 二百, we say 两百. We don't say 二千, we say 两千. We don't say 二万, we say 两万. Why? The reason is that 百, 千, 万 all are measures, and so we use 两 before them. Just one other thing to point out to students is that when it comes to bus numbers, room numbers, telephone numbers, when you want to say one, you don't say 一, but you say 幺, is that 幺幺九. You don't say 一一九. Okay, let's, sorry, I haven't finished yet, sorry. Measures, let's think about measures. In English, we also have measures. We talk about a pair of shoes. We talk about a sheet of paper, not just a paper. We talk about a suit of clothes. Whereas in Chinese, almost every noun has its own measure. 三支笔, 两本书. And so a measure word is required whenever a noun is quantified by a number. 一本书. And so there's a rule here we need to point out. Measure words cannot stand alone. There's one exception. When you use the number one, 我有一个朋友, we can normally miss out the 一,